Thanks everyone for joining us here today to go through our webinar, What's New in Salesforce Winter 26. Firstly, just to introduce ourselves, I'm Nick Waypour. I'm VP of Product Marketing here at Provar. I'm joined with Ravi Yadav, who is Product Business Unit Director for Test Automation, looking after Provar Automation. So today it's our pleasure to walk you through the Winter 26 update from Salesforce. So first on the agenda, Ravi will take us through those big changes, what the major elements are and how that impacts testing teams. We'll then move into Provar Automation updates as well, some of the new features enhancement with in the most recent release. Then we'll move to some Q&A. I would say throughout the webinar, please do put your questions into the Q&A, and we'll get to those at the end. And then we'll touch on some upcoming events at the end as well. This call will be recorded and shared with all participants at the in the next couple of days as well. So with that being said, I'll pass to you, Ravi, and you can take us through the latest updates.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining this webinar. I'm excited to walk you through the Winter 26 changes and the latest product enhancements as well. So let's start with Winter 26 changes first. Okay, so let's start with the very first one and a big one, SLDS2. SLDS2 has been there for quite a while, but it was available as beta. Now with Winter 26, Salesforce has officially marked it as generally available. This is one of the significant UI refresh from Salesforce. In the past, they had done it from Classic to Lightning and Aura, and then from Aura to SLDS1. Now they are moving towards SLDS2, and it is now generally available. So it's one of the big enhancement and one of the big UI refresh from the Salesforce and in years. With this, you'll see there's an enhanced UI controls, the way controls are presented on the page, the layout, and all the look and feel will be different with this new SLDS2. Now, what does this mean for us as a test automation? Since all the CSS property and the styling is changing, so as we know, like any test automation tool, generic test automation tool use these DOM properties to automate the scripts. So all the CSS selectors, all the button locators that they had used in the past will be impacted with this change. There will be locator failure, there will be failure with the CSS property and UI failures as well. The good news is with Provar, you don't have to worry about it because we didn't have to work much on this since Provar works on the metadata concept. For us, it was pretty seamless and everything worked smoothly for us, and there's no change required for our customer who are using Provar for their test automation. So whether you are creating it in SLDS1 and running it in SLDS2 or vice versa, the same script will work fine in both the cases. So yes, this is one of the biggest one that is coming in this release. Some examples on the screen. On the left side, you're seeing the older view, SLDS1 view, and on the right side, it is SLDS2 for the view screen. So you can see there are changes in the appearance of the buttons and the page and the structure and the boundaries. So yeah, there are enhancements as a part of this SLDS2. Similarly for list view screen, you can see the list view rendering is totally different than what it used to be in SLDS1 on the left side. And this is new screen where you are creating a record. You see on the right side, this is SLDS2, and then on the left side, SLDS1. And SLDS2, you see rounded corners on the top, but square at the bottom. So, and buttons are all rounded, squared in SLDS1. So yes, it's quite some visible changes on the screen. And this is the rendering of related list. And one thing to point with this one is SLDS2 is marked GA, but it is still not a default theme. You will still see the old theme in your current organization, but this theme is available by default in your org in the setup. You can go and choose SLDS2 in your sandboxes and do the testing, compatibility testing for your application, but it is not enforced yet. It may be in future, but not in this release. All right, so moving to the next one, next significant change that is coming as a part of Winter 26 is around multi-column sorting in list views. So this means user now have the brand new control available where they can add multiple columns or fields for the sorting of the list. Earlier, it used to be only one control or one column where you can click and it used to sort the whole list based on that one column. But now with this Winter 26, you'll have additional option to add multiple fields for the sorting. So what it does, like it gives you a concise list and prioritize your item or organize your item on the top so that when you are doing automation, you get the right item on the top of the list. So with Provar, yes, Provar is compatible with all these changes. Once you do all these setup, configure your list view, all your existing test case and it will work fine on the list view screens as well. Let's look at some examples. So on the left side, you have summer 25, where you had only one option of sorting the column. So, and that was you had to click on the column and then the column was sorted and it was highlighted like it is sorted by that particular column or that particular field. On the right side, you have Winter 26. And if you see to the right side box, there's a new control available. When you click on it, you see this pop-up that is coming on the screen. And on this screen, you have option to select the field or the column name with which you want to sort the list. So you can select the primary field on the top, and then you can go to the secondary one, and you can add more fields to this. So the list will be sorted accordingly. So you can add multiple columns for the sorting and yes, organize and prioritize your list accordingly. Okay, the next one in Winter 26 is visible change around checkbox design. I'm not talking about SLDS2, even in SLDS1. You'll notice this change is all across the object, list views, related list, and other table components, where the rendering of the checkbox is different in Winter 26. Since the rendering is different, this also affects the DOM structure, means DOM properties and styling properties are changed. So any automation tool that are dependent on these brittle locators, CSS locator, and properties will be affected by this change. If you are using Provar test cases, yes, Provar is fully compatible with this. No update required. Everything will continue working as it is. Let's look at the example. So on the left side, you're seeing summer 25 example, where all the checkbox you see are circled and hard-coded box, but on the right side, these are dotted box, the way you can select your checkbox. It's not just that, even on the DOM structure, you see like the right side one, Windows 26, is more aligned towards LWC. The tags and all the element properties are changed. Earlier, it used to be span, and now it is lightning icon, which is now an LWC component. So this change is available as a part of Windows 26. On the GUI, yes, not much different, just the visible difference. But for the automation point of view, yes, certain properties and the tag informations are changing. That could impact your automation. But as I said, Provar scripts will continue to work fine. It is compatible with all these changes. Moving to the next one, this is around the label change of entitlement process field. So now the entitlement process label is changed to SLA policy. So Salesforce has made this change across the objects, where all the entitlement process label are changed to SLA policy. This change is not just on the UI, it is available in the metadata as well. All the labeling and all the information properties has changed to SLA policy now for entitlement process. This impacts the object that are using entitlement process. For example, entitlement object that uses this field, and also on the merge case field, you have entitlement process field that will be impacted with this change. Provar is compatible with this change. Your existing script will work fine since it is a metadata change. Provar automatically picks up these changes and handle behind the scene. But just in case if you are doing a label assertion on these fields where you are passing this entitlement process as an expected value, you might have to change that expected value on your own. So that is the only impact on your automation script where you have to change the expected value. But if you're not doing any label assertion, then yes, there is no impact of this on your Provar test cases where it will automatically update the field to SLA policy. And here's an example. So on the left side, summer 25 example, you see the field name is entitlement process on the entitlement object. And on the right side, the field name has changed to SLA policy. But interestingly, the suggestion and the overlay text on the text box is still says entitlement process on the right side as well, but the label is changed to SLA policy. Maybe it is a leftover item from Salesforce. They will fix in the upcoming updates. But yeah, for now, it is SLA policy for the label, but yes, suggestion still says entitlement process. The same change on merge case pane on the left, it says entitlement process start time, and on the right side says SLA policy start time. Again, no impact on the script, but if you're using the label assertion and passing it as the expected value, then yes, you'll have to make sure you update this value as well. All right, moving to the next one. This is around CPQ. CPQ is not changing much from past few releases, but yes, there is a new version available, which is version 258, which is a Winter 26 version. And Provar is fully compatible with this. Means if you have any existing script around created around the older version of CPQ and now you are trying to run it on the latest one, those will work seamlessly without any change. Just wanted to highlight there's a new version available and Provar is fully compatible with this change. Okay, so in Winter 26, there are several changes worth noting, but I'll call out a few here. One is around confirmed verified email address. Salesforce now requires email address verification for adding extra security step. But if you don't do it, then your email sent from the Salesforce will fail. So you have to make sure you are defining the verifying the email address in your Salesforce org to make sure your email scenarios are working appropriately and smoothly. The next one is around replace instance URL in API traffic. So with the my domain enforcement, now you have to make sure your instance URL in API traffic is updated and handled properly. If you don't do it, there's a chance your API request might fail. Another important one that we have been calling out in previous webinars as well is ICU locale format. It has been rolled out quite a while ago, but Salesforce has not enforced it. There are still orgs that are remaining with this ICU locale format, and it will be rolled out soon. So make sure like you enable this ICU locale format and then do a compatibility test on your test cases or the application on the sandbox. And once it rolls out on production, you make sure like nothing is broken. There are other notable changes in this Salesforce release. I'll request everybody to go through the Winter 26 release notes for more details. There are some that are mentioned in our release notes as well, and there are some mentioned on the Winter 26 Salesforce release notes as well. We'll be also coming out with some blogs in the coming days that will have some additional details as well. All right. All right, so there is a big update from Salesforce around security due to the recent cyber attack that we have heard over the LinkedIn or over social media. So what Salesforce has done as a response to that is Salesforce has introduced API access control, and that too starting September. So they are rolling it out quite quickly. They are already doing it for some orgs, and they started doing it starting September only. So just to understand what this change is, the very first thing is like this is not enabled by default. This is still disabled and it will not be available by default in your org to enable. You'll have your admin will have to request Salesforce support to turn it on. So your Salesforce admin will request Salesforce support team to enable it. Once they allow and enable it, then only you will see this option in the setup. But yes, once it enable, it applies to the whole org. The aim is simple: make API access more secure and reduce risks from the safe password. And eliminate any possibility of any future cyber attack. So that's the whole objective from the Salesforce for bringing this policy update. But let's understand what is the impact. So impact is once it is enabled, Salesforce will block the old username password locking method that are using SOAP login for the third-party application. Means third-party application cannot use your username password to navigate to the UI. So that will be blocked once you have this feature enabled. It's a significant impact. This means Provar connection that are using this username password method will be impacted with this because now this security control is enabled in your org. So you'll have to make sure like you're updating that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if you're using OAuth connection with Provar, then yes, there is no impact. It will continue to work fine. But yes, your team will have some additional overhead to make sure all the username password setup will be updated to the OAuth. What we are suggesting as a part of this, what we should do to stay aligned with Salesforce new security policy. This is what we recommend. Like you should create a dedicated connected app for Provar. You should assign it the right permission set that and minimal permission set that it requires. Transition all your username password connection to OAuth and make sure you collaborate with your Salesforce admin to follow your OAuth policy and the security policy that Salesforce defines. We have mentioned more details in our help page. We have already published documentation on our website. We have already sent a notification to our customers with the guidelines what they have to do. Please do follow that and make sure you upgrade your connection to OAuth. But just again to reiterate, you have to do this only if you have enabled this API access control or your organization has enabled this API access control. If they have not enabled it, your existing setup will keep on working without any problem. But as soon they enable it, then yes, you'll have to follow these steps and make sure you are following the recommended guidelines. So this is very important. All right, so that's all for Winter 26 update. Let's look what is new in the automation. As a part of product enhancement, the first item in the list is Chrome extension loading experience. So recently, Chrome has released Chrome version 137, and what they have done with this, like they have changed the security policy of loading the extension. What happened with this, like they are not allowing any third-party application to load the extension by default. So it means like Provar used to load the extension by default when you used to launch the browser. Now it does not allow that. That is a restriction made from the Google side. So what Provar has done to handle that? So Provar has improved the user experience around it. So when you launch the browser and there is no extension, on the right side screenshot, you will see a pop-up message there that will ask you to load the extension, and it will give you a button, install button, right away on the screen. By clicking on this, you will be navigated to the Chrome store where you will be having an option to install the Provar Test Builder extension. Once you install it, it is set up. It is just one-time setup. Once it is installed, it works across the workspace, across the new installs as well. So that is different from the previous releases because in the past, you still had an option to install it from the Chrome store, but you had to install it for every new install or every new release that Provar does. But with this one, this has been improved. So now you have a navigated or guided experience on the UI, and you have to do it only once. So once you do it, it is stored in your user home config folder. Even if you change the workspace, even if you install a new version of Provar, the Chrome extension will be automatically clicked. And it also eliminates the need of adding any INI entry that we had to do in the past. So that is not required after this release. So all the INI entry and all the configuration will be handled behind the scene. So just go to the browser, install the extension, and that's it. And you have to do it once, as I said. And just to point out, this change is only for authoring experience because it is about the extension and the test builder. But if you are using Chrome only for execution, yes, there is no impact on the execution. Moving to the next one, we now have added Microsoft Edge as an additional authoring browser in Test Builder. So considering there are certain limitations and more security constraints coming from Chrome, and also we have seen there are customers who are having environment restriction around Chrome policy. They cannot use Chrome for an authoring option. Now we have made a significant change to Provar and allowed Microsoft Edge Chromium as an authoring browser option. So now, as a part of this release, you will have both the options available. Chrome will still remain your default browser, but you will have an additional option of Edge. So once you configure Edge, Edge will be launched as a default option. And on the screenshot, you can see I pointed an arrow because we could not see from the browser it is different, but there's a Microsoft Edge Chromium icon that I've highlighted. So this test builder session is using Microsoft Edge Chromium. So yes, you have both the options available based on your organization policy, security policy. You can opt for any. Chrome remains the default one. Yes, you can change it to Edge as well now on. So it gives you a flexibility to choose from Edge or Chrome for your authoring experience. Other than that, all the experience remains same. Like it will be still a browser. You still have to do right click, add to test case. Test builder will still have the similar function and it will do the similar functionality. It's just like you have an additional option. So experience wise, there is no change, just like you have another option of browser. Moving to the next one, since we have supported Edge Chromium as an authoring browser, so it is coming up with few additional enhancements. The first one is around Edge options. With this enhancement, user can now apply Edge-specific browser settings, making it much easier to fine-tune your testing with different configuration of the browser around Edge as well. Till now, it was available only for Chrome. Now it has been extended to Edge as well. Second one is around Edge versioning. It means auto driver download. Again, this feature was only limited to Chrome in the past, but now with this release, Provar will now automatically detect and download the correct Microsoft Edge driver if you don't have the compatible version available on your machine. So based on your browser, it will automatically download the compatible driver. So you don't have to wait for the failure and then download the driver and manually place it in the lib. It will automatically happen behind the scene and you don't have to worry about it. So it will save you a significant amount of time there as well. Okay, the next one is around Edge Chromium for Mac because as Provar user, you might know Edge Chromium was only supported for Windows till date. And on Mac, Edge Chromium was not at all supported. But now, since we have added Edge as a authoring option, it is now available for Mac as well. And not just authoring, you will have an option to execute your script on the Edge browser directly on Mac as well. So it has been enabled for Mac as a part of this release as well. The last one is around extension. So the way we have published the Chrome extension on the Google Store, now we are supporting Edge as a authoring browser. So we also had TB extension available that can be that are added on the Microsoft add-on stores. So it is useful for the organization which does not allow, as per their security policy, to download or automatically load the extension for Edge as well. In that case, you can go to the Microsoft add-on store, download the extension directly from there. And it is the same experience that you had on Chrome. You can do it for the Edge Chromium as well after this. Okay, now moving to the last section. So in this release, we're focused on a few other important items as well. Definitely, I cannot cover each and every item in detail, but I can call out a few. For example, significant security improvement as a part of this release. It has significant Eclipse upgrade, Electron upgrade, just to make sure the product is more secure and safer for the testing in your environment. The next one is around environment variable support. We had environment variable support for a few selected connection in the past, but as a part of this release, it has been extended to other connection as well. So now you can use environment variable for all the connections. There's a list available on our documentation page. You can see what is the nomenclature that is followed. But yes, now this environment variable support is extended to all the connection and it will help you secure your test project and make sure your CI/CD integration is secure and your password is not stored locally in the project. The next one is around inconsistent bulk execution. We have been hearing certain feedback from the customer where bulk execution was showing some inconsistent result. So there's a significant improvement made as a part of this release where your bulk execution will be consistent and will show you more consistent results as well. For the full list, I'll request you to go through our Winter 26 R1 release notes that are put on the website as well.
Great, thanks, Ravi. Lots of good stuff there. So yeah, now we're moving to Q&A. And yeah, so any questions for Ravi, please put them in the chat or the Q&A section. We do have one in there from Craig at the moment. Are there any changes regarding authoring or executing in Safari?
No, so authoring on the Safari is not available. It is still an option available for the execution. You can build your test case in any of the browser, but any of the two browser, Chrome and Edge. But once you do it, you will have an option to execute it on Safari, but no, not for authoring.
What's the release plan for 3.0?
So yes, we have some early adopter migration going on internally. The build is available, but team is evaluating and doing early adoption with a few selected customer. If you are interested, I'll request you to get in touch with your customer success representative and get yourself enrolled in that list, show your interest, and they will help you to migrate to 3.0 as well.
So just wanted to cover off a couple of other things that are happening in the next couple of weeks. Really appreciate everyone joining today. If you want more webinar action, we have another one coming in 2 weeks' time, this time alongside GearSet, that we work with closely, a modern testing strategy for Salesforce teams. And in this webinar, you'll learn how the combination of GearSet and Provar can lead to secure, scalable, and resilient releases through the best practices of DevOps and automated testing. So join Michael Daly and Rob Cowell for that one. You should get a survey at the end of this webinar for you to be able to register for that and look out for it on LinkedIn, etc. And then, of course, in October, we will be at Dreamforce in San Francisco. If you are going, then please do come see us. We'd love to chat to you. And of course, we'll have swag as well, which would be great. I do see one more question in the Q&A in the chat, sorry. So what's significantly different in 3.0, Ravi?
Yeah, I can cover that in summary, and then we have some references available. So version 3.0 is an upgraded UI revamp of the current version. So fundamentally, it is still the same product, but it is having a better UI, more organized user experience. Along with that, it is faster compared to the previous version, and it also has AI features as well. If you want to know more, I think on our YouTube channel, we have version 3 demo available. You can go through that. And as I said, like, get in touch with your customer success representative. They can help you with more details around that.
And we will also have a quarterly demo webinar coming up on the 8th of October, I believe. So do look out for that, and you can join us for a live demo of what will be version 3 to see how that looks and all the great new features that are within it. Okay, I think that wraps us up for today. Thank you everyone for joining. Thanks Ravi for all that great content, and we will see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you everyone for joining.